bring you the latest news and reports in politics, business, sports, and entertainment. I'm Timothy Crown. Adiribibe, the headlines first. Katsina State defends decision to release 70 suspected bandits. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar demands the release of detained critic. Renowned writer Chimamanda sues Euracare Hospital over allegation of negligence in the death of her son. And to the meat of the bulletin, we begin in Katsina State, where the state government has been defending the decision to facilitate the release of 70 suspected bandits. The State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Nasir Muazu, during an interview described the effort as essential to consolidate the state government's community-driven peace agreement with repentant terrorists in several local government areas of the state. The commissioner was speaking after the leak of a document where the state government had written to the chief judge requesting the intervention of the administration of the Criminal Justice Monitoring Committee on the release of the suspect in custody. The document was said to have cited Section 371, subsection 2 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law of Katsina State 2021 and described the action as one of the conditions for sustaining peace accords signed between frontline local government areas and armed groups. It noted that while some suspects had been arraigned at the Federal High Court, others remain in detention awaiting trial at the Magistrate Court, with an additional list of about 22 inmates facing High Court proceedings also submitted for consideration. The government's request has sparked outrage among legal practitioners, civil society organizations, and the public, with argument that releasing suspects accused of serious crimes risk undermining the rule of law, denying justice to victims, and potentially emboldening criminal networks. The commissioner said the initiative has led to the release of nearly 1,000 abducted persons across multiple local government areas of the state already. Still on security, there are reports of an attack on a soldier by suspected armed herders. The assailants, according to eyewitness, killed a soldier and an officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps at Udeku community in the Turan district of the Kwande local government area of Benue State. A community leader from the troubled area, Lawrence Akeriba, said the attack had forced scores of residents to flee the community. Akeriba added that all economic and social activities in the area had been grounded as a result of the attack. The deceased security personnel were among officers deployed to the area to help maintain peace amidst incessant attacks by suspected armed herders in the local government area. The slain officers were reportedly returning from Aga Market, where they had gone on a motorcycle to refuel their cooking gas. Reports say youth in the area quickly mobilized, combed the forest, and recovered the charred bodies of the deceased officers, which were taken to the mortuary at the Jato Aka. Meanwhile, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has criticized the arrest and detention of government critic Abubakar Musa, urging President Bola Tinubu's administration to release him immediately and stop suppressing opposing views. Atiku's comment followed a report by Amnesty International Nigeria, which revealed details of Musa's arrest. He described the action as another sign that the government is intolerant of criticism. According to Atiku Abubakar, Musa was arrested simply for speaking out about the worsening security situation in northern Nigeria and the country at large. He said instead of addressing these concerns, the government chose to detain him on what Amnesty called false charges. Atiku warned that such arrest threatened democracy and freedom of expression. He added that many Nigerians, including journalists and young people, have faced harassment for criticizing the government. He called on the Tinubu administration to free Musa and others detained for expressing their views and end intimidation of critics and respect citizens' rights. He also urged international communities and civil society groups to speak out against these actions. Meanwhile, the Kano state government has announced plans to train 50,000 youth across the state in 2026 as part of efforts to tackle unemployment and promote economic self-reliance. Governor Abba Yusuf made the disclosure during the distribution of empowerment packages to over 2,200 graduates of entrepreneurship and skill institutions at the Government House in Kano. The governor said the program is designed to equip young people with practical and market-ready skills, enabling them to earn a living and contribute meaningfully to the state economy. He described youth empowerment as a central focus of his administration's development agenda. Yusuf added that the initiative forms part of a broader strategy to address poverty, unemployment, and youth restiveness, assuring that the government will continue to invest in skills acquisition as a long-term solution. The planned training will also complement ongoing empowerment programs in the state. Earlier, the State Information Technology Development Agency announced a partnership with a non-governmental organization to empower 1.5 million youth with digital skills between 2025 and 2027, with 150,000 youth already engaged under a pilot scheme. In other news, renowned writer Chimamanda Adichie has served Euracare Hospital in Lagos with a legal notice alleging that medical negligence and professional impropriety led to the death of a 21-month-old son, Kano Nnamdi. Kano, one of Adichie's twin sons, died on January 7, 2026, following complications during a series of preparatory medical procedures. The legal notice dated January 10th argued that the attending anesthesiologist and other medical personnel at Euracare breached their duty of care. According to the filing, the child had been transferred to Euracare from Atlantis Pediatric Hospital on January 6th for critical procedures ahead of an emergency medical evacuation. The procedures included an echocardiogram, a brain MRI, a peripherally inserted central catheter, a lumbar puncture. Intravenous sedation was said to have been administered using propofol. It added that a specialist team at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, United States, was on standby to receive him. The legal document stated that during transport from the MRI suite to the cardiac catheterization laboratory, while under sedation, the child suffered sudden and severe complications, which culminated in his death. But Euracare Multi-Specialist Hospital has denied allegations of negligence, which they describe as inaccurate. Welcome to business. Oil prices today fell slightly after Iran said it had brought recent violence under control. Investors were also watching plans to restart oil export from Venezuela. Brent crude dropped to about $63.25 per barrel, while U.S. oil fell to around $59.02 per barrel. Prices had risen strongly last week due to unrest in Iran. Iran's foreign minister said the situation is now under control, even after deadly weekend clashes. A human rights group reported that over 500 people have died during the unrest. And on the foreign scene, Georgia's former Prime Minister, Irakli Garibashvili, has been jailed for 5 years on money laundering. The mountainous Caucasus country bordering Russia has been mired in political crisis since October 2025, when Georgian Dream claimed victory in parliamentary elections the opposition said had been stolen. Garibashvili, who served 2 stints as a prime minister between 2021 and 2024, and then first between 2013 and 2015, was a key figure in ushering in a crackdown on civil society and critics of the ruling Georgian Dream Party. Prosecutors said they found and seized $6.5 million during a search of his apartment. The former prime minister admitted receiving illegal income for years after anti-corruption raids on homes and offices of several former officials in October and struck a deal to cap his jail term. Other high-ranking officials from the party have also been imprisoned in what the authorities describe as an anti-corruption crackdown. Welcome to Sport. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has launched an investigation into alleged misconduct during the quarterfinal matches of the 2025 AFCON involving Cameroon and Morocco, as well as Nigeria and Algeria. CAF announced this in a statement today, saying it had reviewed match reports and video footage that pointed to potentially unacceptable behavior by some players, officials, and other accredited persons during the 2 fixtures. CAF confirmed that the cases have been referred to its disciplinary board, which will determine responsibility and recommend sanctions where violations are established. CAF also disclosed that it is examining footage of an alleged incident involving members of the media in the mixed zone. Now in entertainment, fashion designer Toyin Lawani, popularly known as Tiana, has called for urgent regulation of Nigeria's healthcare system following what she described as a traumatic experience at a Lagos-based hospital. Lawani made the call in a series of posts on Instagram where she alleged that she suffered serious complications after undergoing spine surgery, which she attributed to negligence by the medical facility involved. According to her, some private hospitals in the country operate primarily as profit-driven businesses with little accountability, warning that patient care is often compromised in the process. The fashion entrepreneur further claimed that many hospitals rely on non-permanent doctors who come in solely to perform surgeries and leave, making follow-up care difficult. Lawani advised Nigerians who can afford it to consider seeking medical treatment abroad, citing concerns over standards and safety of patients within the local system. In other news, Nigerian singers recorded major victories at the 9th All African Music Awards, AFRIMA, held in Lagos, with Afrobeat star Rema emerging as one of the biggest winners of the event. Rema led the pack after clinching 3 prestigious awards of the night. The singer won Artist of the Year, Best Male Artist in Western Africa, and Best African Artist in R&B and Soul, further cementing its dominance on the African music scene. Burna Boy also added to his growing list of accolades after winning Album of the Year for No Sign of Weakness. The Grammy-winning artist equally shared the spotlight with Charlie Poppy as their collaboration Lahon won Song of the Year and Best African Collaboration. Yemi Alade was honored in the soundtrack category, winning Best Soundtrack in a Movie, Series and Documentary for her song You Are, featured in the animated series Iyanu. Other Nigerian winners of the night include Final, who emerged Best African Artist in African Hip Hop, Chela thrilled fans after winning African fans' favorite. Fast rising singer King Madi was named Most Promising Artist of the Year, beating several contenders from across the continent. The wins highlight Nigeria's continued influence and dominance in African music as its artists stood out among top performers from across the continent at this year's AFRIMA ceremony. That will be it for now. Please follow us for more on these stories and others, and stay connected with us on all our social media platforms. And don't forget to visit our website at africannews24.ng for the latest updates to stay informed and ahead. I'm Timothy Crown at Diribibi. Good evening.